Alright guys, today we are going to learn about hypothermia. Does anyone know what hypothermia is? Yeah?
It's where, like, I'm not really totally sure, but like you get really cold.
Yeah.
And you start, I don't know.
That's correct. It's a bit more complex than that. I'll explain. Hypothermia is a condition where your core body temperature drops below a certain degree. So that usually happens when you've been exposed to a cold environment for very long periods of time without the proper clothing to protect you. It also happens when you just maybe fall in the water and right in the middle of the winter. Let's say you're ice skating, you fall into the water and you don't get the proper help and treatment you need in time. Okay. Some symptoms of hypothermia: shivering, blue lips, chattering teeth, tiredness, loss of strength, and slowness are all ways to tell whether someone is suffering from hypothermia. They may not necessarily be suffering from all of these at the same time, but they'll be suffering from a couple. That is mild. There are two different types. Mild is the shivering, blue lips, tiredness, etc. Severe is when there's no shivering. Okay? That basically means that it's gone to such a point where they've stopped shivering and things are about to get serious. Treating. To treat mild hypothermia, what you should do is first remove the victim from the cold environment to a warmer place. You should also take off all wet or cold clothing that they might be wearing, and you should replace that with warmer clothing, like sweaters or something. And what you can also do is wrap them in blankets. However, if they're sailing and they fall out of the boat and they start shivering, then you just take them out of the boat and you can wrap them in your sail. However, if you need the sail to get back to shore, then ignore that. If someone is hanging around that can take you back to shore, then you can take down your sail and wrap them in it. Also, what you can do is you can give them warm beverages or room temperature beverages. Don't give them coffee or hot chocolate, because that sudden burst of heat can do some damage. Okay? It'll be very bad for them. Also, if they're still shivering and stuff, you can keep applying blankets, giving them more warm water, more warm drinks, warm food, etc. However, if it is severe and none of the above works after you just waited around for a very long time and it doesn't look like it's getting better, call 911 as soon as you can. Okay, yeah. Never mind. How to prevent hypothermia. What you should do is before, let's say, you wake up, you want to go sailing, what you should do is check the weather first. If it's going to be cold, then you should dress appropriately. So dress in warmer clothing or appropriate clothing for whatever the situation may be. Also, stay out of the water if it's possible. Most hypothermia cases, when you're sailing, happens when you fall into the water. Alright. Any questions? Yeah?
Well, so I was just wondering, does every time you shiver, does that mean you have a hypothermia?
No. If someone's shivering, it probably just means that they're a bit cold. But if they're shivering and they also have one of the other symptoms, or maybe one or two others, then you can maybe start to get a bit suspicious that they're hypothermic. Alright. Anything else? Yeah?
Sometimes when I go swimming, I'm shivering and my lips turn blue.
Well, have you ever felt maybe you're not as strong, you start to get really tired?
No.
Well, those are some definite signs that you have hypothermia. Shivering and blue lips are the most common, but those don't necessarily mean hypothermia. That's basically you're almost there. Alright, we are going to do an activity. For this activity, there's this big pile of clothes. You are going to determine what you should wear during this scenario. It's a cold day in early spring. How would you avoid getting hypothermia? So, I want you guys to figure out what is appropriate clothing in this case. Put everything that you think you shouldn't wear on the floor right there.
Okay, well, definitely not a t-shirt. Or... You might need those.
Well, if they're going sailing,
Just in case
a towel, not really. You don't really wear towels.
You probably need a long shirt.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. A hat. Well, yeah, we'll need a hat to keep your ears warm.
And a sweater would be good.
Yeah. The thicker sweater would be better than the thinner sweater.
Yeah. But what about this?
No. Nah. We have a sweater already.
Yeah.
Anything else?
What about
Life
the
jacket.
jeans?
Life jacket.
What about the jeans?
You always got to have a life jacket when you're sailing.
Well,
The jeans would be
This
warmer but
one
harder
is-
to move around in.
this one. Probably. Should we keep these?
You guys done?
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright.
Okay, sit down. Alright, let's go over what you chose. So, this jacket, it's very good. It would help keep you much warmer with the long sleeve shirt. Just wearing one of these alone might not do it. The hat, it's always good, so your ears don't get cold. The life jacket, you always have to remember to wear a life jacket. Now, the jeans, good idea. In a scenario like this, when it's a cold day in the spring, it's like winter has just ended, so it's still pretty cold outside. You want to dress really warm. This would probably be warmer than swim trunks. And like the water would still be pretty chilly, so you might not even want to go swimming, you might not be planning to go swimming. Like I said before, try to stay out of the water. So I think the jeans would be the best bet over the swim trunks. Alright. Now, this time, it's a hot, sunny day. So what would you wear in this case?
I know. For sure, you probably want to go swimming. So, these. T-shirt. And where's the shorts? Yeah.
And maybe this if it gets colder.
Oh, no.
Or maybe
windy.
that's might be a little bit too warm. Maybe I don't know, something.
Yeah,
lighter
that's
like
that's lighter.
The
so
lighter one?
Just
Yeah.
in case it's a little cold. But maybe this in case it's.
But that would be like...
Come
not
closer.
Really.
You're pretty far away, Marguerite.
So this or
I think you should.
I don't know. We have the
Maybe you might
t-shirt.
get
Yeah.
overheated.
But-
You probably don't want to wear both.
okay.
You guys done?
Yeah.
Alright. So, t-shirt and the shorts. Typical summer weather, you don't want to be wearing sweaters and long pants in case it gets, like, cold. Yeah, never mind. In case it gets too hot. That's what I meant to say. Because then you'll get heat stroke, and that'll be very bad. Alright. The light sweater, it's good because it won't make you too warm and it'll block some wind. Life jacket, of course. However, there's one thing that applies for both, and you guys left out both times. This rain jacket can help block some water that gets sprayed at you when you're sailing. If you're going really fast, there'll be water spraying at you, and this would keep you dry. Even if it's hot, this is still made out of a very breathable material, so you won't get too toasty. Just clear all those things off. Alright, now that we're all done with that, do you guys think you have a pretty good feel? Alright, we are going to recap. What is hypothermia?
It's when your body temperature goes too far below your regular body temperature.
That's true. When, like, how would that happen?
If you get like too cold, like if you're swimming and the water's really cold.
That's one of the ways. What are some symptoms of hypothermia? Let's start with mild. Marguerite?
For mild, you could start shivering, and your lips would turn blue, and you
Yeah, those are both signs. Tara?
You would feel weaker and have less energy.
Yeah. What else, Sylvia?
You would be like slower and your teeth would chatter.
You guys nailed it. What is the difference between mild and severe hypothermia?
Severe hypothermia could cause death, and you're not shivering.
Yeah, that's true. Looks like we have another member to the audience. Lily, lie down. Lie down. Okay. Going to learn about hypothermia. Alright. How would you treat hypothermia? Tara?
Take off the warm/cold clothes and put warmer clothes on that's dry.
But why would you take off the warm clothes?
Cold.
Do you mean wet?
Yeah, it's wet/cold.
Yeah, that's true. What else, Sylvia?
Put like blankets on them and like give them lukewarm beverages and food.
Lukewarm is the key word. Marguerite?
if you don't have any like blankets or sweaters, you could take down the sail if you're sailing and wrap it in.
That's if you're still on the water. You have another thing you'd like to add?
If it's severe, then and if none of those things work, then you would have to call 911.
Yes. Good job. Because severe could get deadly. People have died many times from hypothermia, just from getting cold. Alright. What are some ways you can avoid getting hypothermia in the first place? Sylvia?
Dressing appropriately for the weather. Like if it's colder outside, then you wear like warmer clothes, like long sleeve shirts and jeans.
Marguerite?
Checking the weather report, like maybe a thermometer.
Yeah.
Or on TV or on the radio, you could see what's going to happen.
Tara?
Avoiding swimming if it's too cold.
In the summer, you could go swimming if you start to get too hot, because you don't want to get heat stroke either. But if you start to feel a bit cold, you start to shiver, then you probably shouldn't stay in the water for that much longer. Alright guys, we are all done. Thank you very much for listening. Are there any questions before we leave? Marguerite?
When you said that you should give them room temperature drinks, how come you can't give them hot chocolate? Like, what will happen?
When you give the victim a hot drink, when they drink it, it'll be a complete shock to their system, and they might pass out. This can be very bad because, depending on where they are, they could pass out and hurt themselves. Also, in some cases, you can force your blood back into your heart and your lung area, which can be very fatal. Does that answer your question? All right, Tara?
So if you have severe hypothermia, and you call 911, what would the doctors do?
I'm not entirely sure, actually. That's a very good question. I'll look that up for you. I'm a bit curious myself. I'll get back to you on that. Well, thanks again.